My child, stay here. Do not rush past this moment, because what you have been calling loss was not loss. What you have been calling delay was not delay. And what you have been calling loneliness was not abandonment. It was the cost of being chosen. You asked for growth. You asked for elevation. You asked to step into something greater than average. But greatness is never handed to comfort. It is carved through sacrifice. The cost of being chosen is separation before expansion. You felt people drift away. You felt rooms change. You felt connections weaken without clear explanation. You thought something was wrong with you. Nothing was wrong. You were outgrowing environments that could not stretch with you. Chosen does not mean favored without pressure. Chosen means entrusted with weight others could not carry. There were paths you were not allowed to take because they would have made you comfortable instead of capable. There were relationships removed from you because they would have kept you entertained instead of elevated. There were opportunities that closed because they would have distracted you instead of disciplining you. You felt stripped, but stripping reveals structure. You felt isolated, but isolation builds identity. You felt misunderstood, but misunderstanding strengthens conviction. The cost was not random, it was measured. Measured to your potential, measured to your capacity, measured to your future influence. You watched others celebrate quickly. You watched others move loudly while you were still building quietly. But quiet seasons create deep foundations, and deep foundations support high ceilings. You were not delayed. You were layered. Layered with discipline, layered with patience, layered with resilience, layered with discernment. The cost of being chosen is higher standards. You cannot move casually like others. You cannot attach loosely like others. You cannot speak recklessly like others, because your next level requires stability. You were being trained in silence. You were being shaped without applause. You were being strengthened without recognition. And that felt heavy. But weight builds muscle. Muscle builds endurance. Endurance builds authority. Authority attracts reward. Sacrifice without reward is suffering. Sacrifice with purpose is transformation. Your sacrifice had purpose. Every tear planted wisdom. Every lonely night planted clarity. Every disappointment planted discernment. You did not become bitter. You became sharper. You did not collapse under pressure. You stabilized. You did not chase validation. You built value. And value multiplies when protected. The cost taught you restraint. The cost taught you boundaries. The cost taught you emotional discipline. You learned to walk away instead of react. You learned to observe instead of argue. You learned to wait instead of rush. That maturity unlocked doors you cannot yet see. Reward does not arrive loudly. It aligns quietly. It feels like peace replacing pressure. It feels like opportunity arriving without chaos. It feels like connections forming without confusion. The reward of being chosen is not attention. It is access. Access to rooms you once could not enter. Access to clarity you once lacked. Access to stability you once prayed for. But access requires responsibility. Responsibility requires sacrifice. That is the exchange. You were separated from distractions so you could focus. You were removed from mediocrity so you could mature. You were stripped of comfort so you could expand. The cost proved you were capable. The reward will prove you were ready. Do not resent the season that shaped you. Respect it, because cost determines value, and value determines expansion. You are not average. and average lives require no sacrifice. You are not overlooked. You are positioned. Positioned for influence. Positioned for stability. Positioned for leadership. Leadership is often formed in isolation, not in applause. If everything had been easy, you would not protect what is coming. If everything had been instant, you would not steward it wisely. The delay refined you. The silence strengthened you. The distance disciplined you. Now you stand differently, quieter, stronger, more aware, less reactive, more intentional. That posture attracts aligned reward, and the reward will not feel chaotic. It will feel earned, earned through discipline, earned through patience, earned through growth. You survived the cost. Now prepare to carry the reward. Move quietly, protect your expansion, stay grounded in humility, because elevation must be handled carefully. And you are ready. Before this moment ends, pause. Think about what you sacrificed in the last season. Think about what you endured silently. Think about how much stronger you are now than you were before. If this message felt like confirmation of your journey, after this ends, sit with it. And if your heart recognized itself in these words, leave one word in the comments that represents what this season taught you. Not for attention, but as acknowledgement. Because chosen does not mean easy. It means entrusted. And you have been entrusted with more.